Camden, New Jersey. In order for the Sixers to reach the level of title contention, they believe they have to add outside talent. It's an intriguing need as they enter the offseason with salary cap flexibility and one of the best players in the NBA possibly becoming a free agent. I think that another high-level free agent is required. I feel like we have the ability to attract one, Brown said Friday. At some point, when the time is right, I think we need help to win a championship. The most obvious free agent target is LeBron James. The three-time NBA champion and four-time MVP could opt out of the final year of his contract with the Cavaliers and enter a market that will have teams clamoring for his proven talents, especially after proving ageless at 33 years old this postseason. James averaged 34.0 points, 8.3 rebounds and 11.3 assists in the Cavs' Eastern Conference semifinals sweep of the Raptors. The second biggest name potentially on the free agent market this summer is Paul George, who also has a player option. There is heavy speculation George will not return to the Thunder and instead return home to play in Los Angeles for the Lakers. He posted 24.7 points, 6.0 rebounds and 2.7 assists in the Thunder's first-round loss to the Jazz, including shooting 2 for 16 in the final game. George currently is sidelined 6 to 8 weeks after undergoing a left knee scope. The players the Sixers pursue this offseason will be added to enhance the young core of Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Brown said this is the first time in his coaching tenure there is clarity of the pieces the Sixers have heading into the offseason. There's no mystery when you look at what is Ben Simmons' skill package, he said. There's no mystery of what is Joel Embiid's skill package. You say simply, what complements that? Now drape those qualities over the free agent market and say, yep, that fits him. Simmons ranked second in the league with 95.0 touches per game in the regular season. James was fifth with 87.1. There is the question of how a ball-dominant free agent would fit in a system that is currently designed to have the ball in Simmons' hands so frequently. That's an issue the Sixers wouldn't mind solving. If this player you're describing was great, we'd figure it out, Brown said. Truly. We'd figure stuff out. The Sixers' solution to a top-tier player doesn't necessarily have to come in free agency. The Sixers also will look at possible acquisitions through trades. All eyes are on the Spurs to see if they decide to part ways with defensive stopper Kawhi Leonard, who played just 9 games this season because of a quad injury. There are questions as to whether or not Leonard's relationship with the Spurs will be strong enough for a return. Talent comes in possible trade, possible free agency, President of Basketball Operations Brian Colangelo said. Both options loom with cap space and flexibility. If the right deal comes along, we'll certainly pursue it. We will explore any and all options to add that talent. But to say this group can do it now, they obviously proved they couldn't. Adding another talent and another piece is certainly something we're striving for. The Sixers have cap space, and they also feel they have time. They have maintained they are not going to rush into a deal for the sake of it. The talent in next summer's free agent market includes Klay Thompson. The decision whether or not we move forward is a long-term decision. It's a deal that we feel will help put us in a position to sustain winning for many years to come, Colangelo said. We have to figure out what's the best way that we can continue to develop our core, supplement that core with good, veteran experience and players that are going to help them grow and develop, and exercise patience along the way. The Sixers showed last summer they could land a big-name free agent when they inked J.J. Redick to a 1-year, $23 million contract. This season, they also were the destination selected by Marco Bellinelli and Ersan Ilyasova in the buyout market. When the time comes for them to make a major free agent pitch, they are ready. If I were a free agent, and of course I'm biased, if I were to look at how do they play, Brown said. It's pretty clear the style of play. I think it's exciting. I think it's a modern-day way to play. I would look at the cultural aspects. I think we treat people well here. I think it's a great place to come in and be a part of a culture and family. When you look at the city of Philadelphia and the sport-mad people that we have, when you walk through this door and say, I could come to work here every day, that's a pretty good package. First, Dario Saric came over. Then, Furkan Korkmaz came over. Now, it looks like another Sixers draft and stash prospect is coming over. President of Basketball Operations Brian Colangelo said Friday that Jonah Bolden is the most likely Sixers draft and stash prospect to join the team in 2018-19. Bolden, who the Sixers selected 36th overall in the 2017 draft, spent last season playing for Maccabi Tel Aviv of the Israeli Basketball Super League and EuroLeague. Bolden, 22, has an NBA opt-out in his 3-year contract with Maccabi. The one that is most likely to join this team, if at all, is Jonah Bolden, Colangelo said. Some of that's being discussed and talked about right now. He's got an option, an NBA out in his contract to come if it works out favorably for him and us. And that's part of a negotiation. But the team, Maccabi, has his rights for next year in the event that he does not take advantage of his opt-out. In 29 EuroLeague games, Bolden averaged 6.9 points, 5.5 rebounds and 1.6 assists while shooting 48.7% from the field, 31.9% from 3 and 51.2% from the line. During Israeli league play, Bolden averaged 7.7 points, 7.1 rebounds and 1.5 assists, with a 42.7, 25.7, 56.4 shooting clip. This wasn't Bolden's first professional season either. After spending 1 year at UCLA, the 6'10" forward played for KKFM Beograd of Serbia in 2016, when he earned the Adriatic League's Top Prospect Award, previously won by Saric and Nikola Jokic. Bolden's a modern-day big that can play multiple positions, guard multiple positions, Colangelo said. Can step out and shoot a three. His shooting numbers have gone down a little bit this year, but that we don't believe is an indication of who he is as a player or a shooter. He's a grab-and-go guy. He can rebound the ball very well instinctively. Can handle it in transition, make good decisions. You don't want to put him in that situation every day, but he's a grab-and-go guy that can move the basketball. The Australian-born Bolden played with the Sixers Summer League squads in Utah and Las Vegas last year, where he flashed his athleticism, defensive range and potential as a stretch big that Colangelo raved about Friday. As per his coach and GM over at Maccabi, they say he's got some of the best hands defensively they've ever seen, Colangelo said. We talk all the time about putting rangy lineups on the court, playing defense. Brett Brown talks about it all the time, defense being the no. One thing that we want to focus on, along with the other aspects of our game. Defend, pace, space. He fits pretty much every one of those categories as a modern-day big and think he can be a big complement to our next talent here next year. The Sixers have 2 other overseas prospects from the 2017 draft, but neither sound ready to join the Sixers. Latvian center Andrzejs Pasechniks, who the Sixers traded back into the first round to select at number 25, spent last season playing in Liga ACB in Spain. Colangelo said, "Pasechniks is probably not ready physically, nor did we anticipate him being ready." French forward Matthias Lesort, drafted 50th overall, moved up to the EuroLeague level and played for Crvena Zvezda in Serbia, but Colangelo said Lesort is not quite at that level of development, still learning the game of basketball. "I don't anticipate him coming either." Camden, New Jersey, the Sixers have more than just players on the roster to determine this offseason. They also plan to address Brett Brown's future as head coach. "I've spoken with Brett on a couple of occasions this year just to let him know that it's my intention to sit down with him and discuss a contract extension for him," President of Basketball Operations Brian Colangelo said Friday. "I don't think it's the healthiest of situations for coaches to go into a season with 1 year remaining on their contracts. It impacts so many aspects of what you're doing." Brown, who is entering the final year of his contract, concluded his 5th season as head coach of the Sixers with a massively improved 52-30 record and Eastern Conference semifinals appearance. It is a drastic comparison to the 75 wins and 253 losses in his first 4 years without teams built to contend. This time around, he had a roster featuring 2 emerging young stars and proven veterans. "I think everybody asked me when I first got here, are you going to give him the opportunity to coach?" Colangelo said. "I said, absolutely. He deserves the opportunity to not only prove that he can coach better talent, but that he should have the opportunity to finish this job. I think he's taken a big step forward, proving that as the talent increases, as the availability of his players is more consistent, and as he can adapt and manipulate that talent, he's doing a very good job, which is once again why we're going to be talking about a contract extension at the appropriate time." Brown has expressed his desire to remain in the city where he began his head coaching career in 2013. "I think this will play out as it plays out, but I love being here," Brown said. "We've grown something that I think all of us, when you take a deep breath, look around and collectively as an organization, I'm just so proud of where we are. I think my situation will unfold as it should. That seems likely to happen before the Sixers kick off the 2018-19 season. I'm hopeful that at the appropriate time we sit down and have some discussion with respect to his situation and he realizes just how much we value him as the coach of this program," Colangelo said.